Hello and welcome to today's episode on Conversations with CWCIT. I trust that you'll have an enlightening and fun time with today's guest. Relax and enjoy. We still have Mtish here with us, and we'll now be taking a quick dive into a conversation around bullying. Stay with us. So let's touch a bit on bullying. And this is one topic that I am very, very passionate about. I mean, so aside the fact that I was also a victim of bullying, right, in secondary school, which affected my self-esteem to a great extent, right, up until university, where in my third year, I was able to break free eventually, right? But yeah, the place of bullying, and also for the many young people, I've also seen it in many young people that I have had the privilege to work with, people that are falling victims of bullying and all that, and it tells on their self-esteem is as bad as some people not being able to express themselves in the places that matter the most. And another example is, this recent case of the secondary school student that was bullied to the point of his life being taken. I mean, when I heard that story, I was broken. Sylvester, right? We all heard about that story. Sylvester, I was broken, I was bitter, like I was pained, but this is a child. So bullying is not just because many times parents hear about, or, we talk about bullying and people feel like, oh, you also have to be able to defend yourself. You also have to be able to, but sometimes it's as severe as it could cost a person is or a life, right? So bullying is that serious. So talk to me, Mtish. Let me even first ask this question, because when you were talking about your daughter and the experience that she had, you said the person or the perpetrator also had to get help, right? So it was not just, there was also a problem, a fundamental problem with the perpetrator. So yeah, for people, for the issue of bullying, right? Before we even come to those that have been bullied, let's talk about the bully. Why do people bully? I know people might have different answers and have different things to say about it, but let's go to the fundamental, let's go to the foundation of it. Why do people bully?
All right, so bullying is actually a default in whoever is carrying out the act of bullying. Is a default. And most times people that bully, I'm not able to talk about coping mechanisms. I've been using the word coping mechanisms. People think that the defaults, yes. So, actually, I tell people when I go to speak that coping mechanisms can be good as long as you're coping and it's not affecting anyone. As long as whatever you're using to cope is helping you and is not affecting anybody, then it's okay. But whatever you're using to cope, the moment it starts affecting other people's mental health and it starts bringing them down and it affects their self-esteem, then something is wrong. So most people that bully are actually people that suffer self-esteem. They are timid. Most of the people that bully, check them, they are actually timid.
Word.
They are timid people. Yes, there are people that lack expression, and over time they just want to break free. They want to break out of this timidity. They want to become expressive, and because they don't know how to go about it, they don't have the right help. They become something else. They put people down to bring up themselves. They kill people's expression to become expressive. So it becomes an anomaly. They go about it the very wrong way. So most times people that bully are people that need help. And if you check people that bully, they've been bullied. We have parents that bully. We have narcissists as parents. Yes, most parents that are narcissists would always breed a bully as a child. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So check their parents. Show themselves as what they are not. They are just trying to cover up for the defaults, for the things they lack, for the vacuum that they have. A lot of them feel they're not good looking. So when they see somebody that is beautiful or somebody that is termed beautiful, the person becomes a threat. So they want to bring you down. They want to use, most people that are bullies probably they just have something they want to use. Some of them are big, so they use their body size to intimidate. Some of them are not big, they use their mouth to intimidate. They just use things to intimidate, to threaten people, to bring them down, because they're actually down. Bullies are down. Yes, they want to bring you down to the level where they are. They want you to conform to who they are. And so if you don't agree with them, you become a threat to them, and they want to, do it forcefully.
Wow.
So that's why people turn out to become bullies. They are people that lack help. They are people that have defaults. They are people that have faults that they are dealing with. They are not able to go about it the right way because they don't have help, and they turn out to be something else, just in a bit to cope with what they lack.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that, Mtish. So let me just, let me ask, for the sake of, you throwing more light on this. So how does it affect its victims? How does bullying affect its victims? And for people that have been bullied, how do they break free, from the fear and the stronghold that it has caused before they even now start building the right esteem? How do they break free of that fear and that stronghold? Because I know that's one of the things that bullying brings about, right? That was one of my own challenges for a while. That fear, that stronghold of, what could be, what could the reaction be, what would people say, and all of those things, right? So for people that have been bullied, how do they break free? How do they break free from that old?
All right, so as parents, I think the first point of help for a bully or for somebody that is being bullied is the parents. Yes, the teachers too have a role to play, but I think parents would understand their children more than even a teacher.
Okay, Mtish, before you go too deep into that, I want you to even first touch on how it affects its victims. So what are usual things that could be what comes out of a bullying situation?
Signs to look out for.
Signs to look out for, exactly. So for someone that has been bullied, what are usual reactions to that experience?
All right, so someone that has been bullied, or someone that is undergoing bullying, would become unnecessarily quiet. Now, there are different ways, there are different versions to it, depending on the person's personality. Yes, your personality plays a key role. So it's either the person, a child that has been talking, that has been so outspoken before, would suddenly become quiet. When the child becomes so silent, quiet, is not as expressive as he or she used to be, then you need to check that child. A child that becomes unnecessarily outspoken. Yeah. Wow. Most times you don't look at that. A child that doesn't talk before and just suddenly becomes so expressive, check that child. There's something already happening. There's a confirmation that is happening already in that child. The child is turning to be who he or she was not or is not. Then lack of expression. A child that used to, as I've mentioned, that a child that used to be expressive becomes, inexpressive. A child that used to be very bold becomes so timid. A child that used to talk doesn't talk anymore. The one that doesn't talk becomes unnecessarily expressive, just talks anyhow, just say everything and anything. You need to check that child. What has happened? Something has happened that has become an overall has happened. And you need to check where it's coming from. Like I said, why we act the way we do is more important than what we do. Why the child is behaving that way is what you should target, is what you should aim at getting, not just targeting or fighting and attacking what the child is doing. Why is this child unnecessarily quiet? Why is this child now talking too much? Not attacking that child. Not telling the child, you will not even talk. You are just too quiet. Just let my friend talk. You're not tackling the reason why the child is doing that, the reason why the child is coming up with that attitude. You are tackling the child. And so you would worsen the case and the situation of things with that child. The child that talks too much will talk more. And that was the case of Nepash's Bose. The parents would always attack her. You are talking too much. They are not finding out the reason why she was talking too much. She was dealing with things. And so she just took to talking. She took to talking. A child that doesn't eat too much starts eating too much. Check it. A child that eats, stops eating, check it.
So they are different.
Yes. A child that doesn't sleep too much, starts sleeping too much, excessive sleeping.
Or just wants to be alone.
Oh my God, you just need to watch. You need to be on the lookout for every of these signs and symptoms.
Wow.
I know that God will take me to places where I'll be able to say these things. I'm sure I'm going to be on BBC soon. Because parents, we have so much. I'm telling you the truth. When a child is sleeping too much, there's a reason. That's if the child doesn't do that before. That's why I said you need to check, you need to watch. When a child starts jumping out of bed, it could be as a result of fear. You know, a child just jumps out of bed and he's like, "Oh, my friend, go back to sleep. What's wrong with you?"
that.
No.
I know that another expression, which is what happened in my case many times, was there was the avoidance. So trying to, avoid situations, avoid people, withdraw.
Did you see that part of withdrawal? It has gotten to the ecstasy. It has gotten to the peak when the child starts withdrawing.
And just avoiding people, avoiding situations, of just
avoid people. You don't want to be where
people are around yourself.
You just want to be alone. You want to be all to yourself, wallowing in the, in the pain and abject thoughts of what you are going through.
So Mtish, how do parents, I mean, how do I know you were talking about the place of parents and how they can help, people that have been bullied, victims, right? So and I don't even like to call them victims. Yes. So for people that have been bullied, right? How do they get out of that space? How do they get out of that fear and that stronghold?
You need to, number one, the fundamental thing to do is to show love. And at that point, excessive love, if I can put it that way.
So this is for one now. This is for parents. Is this for parents,
of people that have been, for whoever,
for friends,
whoever notices, you can help somebody. You can help a bullied person. Yes. If the parents are not taking note, if you, for any reason, take note of any of these things in your friend, in your sibling, in your colleague, whoever, you can help. If you know all of these things and you notice, you see the signs in anyone around you, then you should be a point of help also.
Okay, so what should be done?
You don't want to start regretting when the person is gone. That's not a place to be.
True.
Because you were in a position to help, you saw the signs, and you neglected it.
Wow.
Yes. So anyone can help. So long as you know the person, you're familiar with the person, and you notice any of these things that we're talking about, please be of help. Don't let the person die before you start living in regret. And I noticed it. I noticed she doesn't talk anymore. I noticed she became, she withdrew. I noticed all of these things. But, well, I'm not the parent. No, you don't have to be the parent. You could save a life. The person would hold you his or her life if you come in at that point, to help the person.
So how can people help? So how can we get to that place of help, to help people break free?
It's love. The only language that bullying understand is love.
Wow.
Yes, it's not going to be easy. It could take time depending on the degree, and the level the person has sunk deep into, as when you're trying to prepare help. Yes, it's not going to come easy. But if you're able to break that shell with love, with the mechanism of love, the person would get help, and the person will never forget you, because that's the most vulnerable state of anyone. The point where you need help most, it's your most vulnerable state. And so if you see anyone that steps into that that point of your life and helps you, you owe that person your life. I have a lot of people that they feel they owe me their life, and I'm like, why? But I discovered that it's because at their most vulnerable state, I was there. I was the one that preferred help to them. They will never forget. Wow. So just show people love.
So for the person that has been bullied himself or herself, how can such person, help himself or herself? How can such person come out of it? What can that person do? Most
times when people are bullied, before someone would even accept to be bullied, the person is helpless. Yes. someone with a healthy self-esteem can negate bullying, can fight bullying from happening somehow. I don't want to really touch on this boy's case because it's a very sensitive and emotional one for me. But you know, if the boy were in a place of a balanced self-esteem, I'm sure he wasn't the first person that those guys would have approached to want to bully, to want to bring down. But he accepted it because there was something wrong somewhere. There was something wrong somewhere. There are several times my daughter had come home to tell me how somebody in the class was calling her by the names of animals.
Wow.
Yes. You know, the first time she mentioned it, I said, wow, tell the person not to call you that again. The second day she came, I said, today he called me lizard. Yesterday he called me monkey. And the third time she came, I said, today he called me leopard. I said, what? I had to go with her. Because if it persists like that, and I don't do anything, she would take it as a norm.
Wow.
She would accept it. You know, the point where I had to act, she started lashing on her own younger sister too. Oh. And that's why I said a bully will bully. A bullied person would bully. I saw the way she would scream on the sister. I said, no, this thing is telling. It's beyond what she's telling me. This person is probably doing more. She's only telling me the part where the boy calls her by the names of animals. And I said, no, you don't take that. But the moment I saw that she was yelling on the sister, she would always pick up on the sister. I knew, no, it's beyond what she was just saying.
Beginning to sip in.
That the guy is doing that she's probably overlooking that one does not mean. The only one she took important was the one she was telling me. So I had to go to the school with her. And in fact, getting to the class that day, I met the boy fighting another student. The teacher was not on seat. And as I entered into their class, I saw them fighting. And those were saying, don't beat her, don't beat him. And it was the same boy. My daughter was like, that's the boy. I said, oh, this boy needs help. And so I waited, the teacher came, and I told the teacher, you need to help this boy. This boy lacks help from home. And I will not allow this boy that lacks help from home to come and render my own child helpless.
Wow.
Yes. So you see, when a child has now gotten to that point where he or she had accepted the act of being bullied, then we have more work to do. Because such child would be more quiet. Such child will not relate anymore. Such child will not even express what he or she is going through. As I said, at that point, the child needs more work. The child needs more attention. It's a lot.
It's a lot. But for older people, I mean, for teenagers, for young adults, that, there's that level of maybe being able to, there's that self-ownership to an extent, right? How can such person help himself or herself for somebody that has been bullied for so long and saying, I'm tired of this pace, I'm tired of what's going on? How can such person get out of that situation personally?
Well, it's still the same thing. We're still falling back to the same thing, because getting to the point where the child accepts to be bullied, the child has become helpless. So for that child to now stand up, I'm not saying the child or the teenager cannot help himself or herself, but he or she would have a lot more work to do. There was a post that I put up then about this young lady, I think from another part of Africa, that killed herself because she was also bullied. I don't know if you remember that video that went viral of I've forgotten her name. It's not the Nigerian name. Yes, she killed herself because she was bullied, and I think she was slapped. She was slapped in the presence of all the friends because they said she's ugly, and she was trying to tell them, no, I'm not ugly. That girl was speaking out. Man was trying to speak up for herself. Then you'll know that at that state, that lady or that girl wasn't really having issues with her self-esteem. That's why I said self-esteem is not a destination. It's a journey. If you watch that video, she was trying to speak for herself. She wasn't accepting what they were telling her. They were telling her, you are ugly. Look at you, black monkey. And she was telling them, no, I'm not ugly. I'm not a black monkey. And the next thing, somebody, one of the girls that were throwing tantrums at her, just stepped forward and slapped her. it was that shame. In her suicide note, she said the shame was too much. Somebody posted the video on Facebook and the video went viral. She said she couldn't stand the shame of the video of how a friend, the same classmates slapped her, and she was unable to do anything because they were much. They would overpower her. But imagine when that thing happened, there was a teacher that could stand in. That's why I said it's not just the work of the teenager or the child or the youth at that time. It's the
nation
place
of external and personal
external
effort.
help, corporate help. People that were there. There should be some students there at that time when that other girl slapped her that would have probably stood up for her. If all of those things had happened, that girl would not kill us. But because when the other girl slapped her, all of them started, they were cheering out. Woo, 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 woo. They were even cheering the girl that slapped her. You understand? So she became helpless. At that point, it wasn't as if she couldn't help herself, but she had been rendered helpless. She had done the right thing. When they talked at her, she said, "No, don't tell me I'm ugly. You're also black," because all of them were black. It's an African country. But because she's darker in complexion, they said she's a black monkey, she's ugly, she's this, she's that. They bullied her. So people around have a lot of work to do. The friends also can stand for her, the teachers, the parents most especially.
It's a communal effort. It's a joint.
Exactly, a joint work, a joint effort.
Schools, because I know
such
that,
a person.
yeah, because one of the things that, I started discussing again around when this happened was the fact that how serious do we take things like anti-bullying policies, for instance, in schools, in places of learning? I know that for many schools, they say, oh, they have these policies and they have this, but how serious are we about these things? How well do we practice them, right? So what is and that would have formed the support system, that would have formed the external, the external factor that is fighting against this. But when
a child has been rendered helpless. If there were policies in the school, where were the teachers? Where are the school owners? Where are the management of the school? For that long, I think the video lingered for about 2 weeks on Facebook and it went viral. It was at that point that she took her own life. Like this,
we see many cases. It's the same case that we have at hand now, right, in Nigeria.
With the boy.
And it's just really painful. But thank you so much for sharing with us today, Mtish. In fact, I'm sensing that we have to have a part 2 of this conversation. But it's been so great to have you on this call. Thank you so much. So let's, in rounding up the session, Mtish, what would be your final charge?
Well, I'll say conclusively that we should not overlook the things we should act on. Because that little thing that seemingly looks insignificant can lead to death. Death is the final lap. That's the last lap. But before somebody would eventually commit suicide, before somebody would eventually, it's not easy to take your own life. Just have somebody committed suicide. No, it's a whole lot of process before you get to that point where you know that after you do this, you are going to be no more. There's nothing left for you. Your memory, it's gone, and all of that. It's a whole lot. It takes a lot of, process and willpower to do that. But before anyone gets to that point, please don't let us overlook the seemingly little things that we see in people. I'm not very quick to judge people like I used to do before, because now I know that the reason why what they're doing is more important. So now I want to help. I want to provide solution. I want to help you dig to the root of where whatever you're doing is coming from, so that you can get timely help.
Timely help. Thank you so much, Mtish. Thank you for, spending this time with us today and just sharing from your wealth of experience. It's been a fantastic session, and we look forward to bringing you on board again. We look forward to bringing you on, one of the sessions again. Yes. Thank you so much, Mtish. And to our listeners, it's been wonderful having listening today, and I hope that you've learned not just a thing or two, but a whole lot. You could reach Mtish on our Instagram page, if I'm right, at Ayodeji Michael-Oni on Instagram, and ask all of these many other questions, and also figure out how to engage further. Thank you so much, Mtish, for joining us today, and to our audience, thank you so much for listening in. Till the next session or episode again, please take care of yourselves, and remember, if you're one in this space, seek timely help. Seek timely help. It's important, not just help, but timely help, so that you can get out of that space and live your best life. Thank you very much, Mtish, and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on today's episode. I hope you learned a thing or two. Please feel free to send in your questions and experiences to my DM on Instagram or as an email to conversationswithcoachit@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share with your friends. See you on the next episode. Bye.